we're live on the Google Pluses as well. Now.
Live from outside of New York, it's Landino and Fanzo.
As I said, I was like, this actually works out pretty well since it's we both are on that space as well as Meerkat as well as are you using Periscope at all?
No, you know what it is? I'm sticking to Meerkat, man. I'm just sticking to my gun. I've been using Periscope a little bit. The project I was telling you about a little earlier, yeah. I have to use Periscope, so.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Upgrade what, Kristen? What are you talking about? She said, "Dear Lord, please upgrade this Monday."
Yeah, no, so she's having a crappy Monday, so she wants us to make her
upgrade Monday. Yes, okay, now I get what she's saying. I'm like, what are you talking about? What's up, Ashley? Hey, look, my co-host, everyone in Meerkat, my co-host for this Wednesday night, Ashley, is in the house.
Yeah, I just followed her on Meerkat like just today.
Yeah, she just signed up for Meerkat because we have Ryan Cooley gonna be on the panel, so she's like, I probably should do that.
Yeah, I saw her on there. I was like, I gotta make sure I'm following her now. I saw she posted that she was doing it.
Yeah, she's really cool too. I'm glad.
Right, hold on. I'm gonna test this new speaker system real quick. Whoa.
So what's going on, everyone? Who else do I have in here? Hey, TK, Tara's in the house. Rob.
All right, let me.
Hi, everybody. What's going on? Brian's testing his.
Yeah, I know it's a crappy Monday for me as well. Oh, that's not working. All right, can you hear me, Vin?
Yeah, Brian, I hear you.
All right, cool. I can hear you now. Cool.
What's up, Holly? And Tiffany.
All right. So yeah, and you can actually see the I got the TV set up over the shoulder now. I just did that today.
Oh yeah, I do see that. When did you put the fans out? I didn't get to be on SBiz hour, so.
Oh no, so no, I think that was up there on the other side, but I put the TV up there because now on Meerkat you can actually see you over my shoulder, so people can actually see me directly through.
Gotcha.
So, and I can talk to you without it feeling like really awkward because I tried to do it the other way. So I actually have Apple TV hooked up there. Hey Kathleen, how's it going? What's up, Mr. Marketing Hits, Brian?
Oh, Ashley, don't worry about it. Yeah. What's up, Holly G? I met Holly G. I met Holly today or on Saturday as well. Holly's pretty cool people. What's up, man?
Oh yeah. Oh, you met her at Sexy Savvy Social Live?
Yes, I was at Sexy Savvy Social Live with Amy.
That's like a whole mouthful. I like the SSS Live.
Mouthful. Live. I'm telling you, Amy. Well, try saying her last name, Amy Schmidhauer.
That's true. That's a very good point. Very, very good point.
All right.
Yes.
She was fantastic, though.
Yeah, Kathleen just said "FU Mondays" via Gary V. Yeah, actually, Mondays are usually like my favorite days because I have social business hour, and usually I get a lot of work done on Sunday nights. Now I don't get much work done on Sunday nights because of stinking Game of Thrones that now occupies my entire Sunday night. And then on top of that, I get to today was one of those days where I had two customers no-show conference calls. Not very cool. And then I had my computer decided it wants to be to suck at life, and then a couple other things. And then my landlord, that is the guy who owns my house, wants to sell my house before I'm ready to move out of it. So it's one of those days that this Monday has not been awesome. That's for sure.
So it looks like Brian needs this. Brian definitely needs this Meerkat hangout session tonight. Probably just as bad as most of you, including myself, because Monday sucked. This Monday was not a good Monday, but I did get to talk to my co-host Ashley for about an hour. We were going back and forth with some cool strategies on using the app that she works for, Hey Let's. So shout out to Hey Let's app, which is an experience-driven app. It's actually, I don't know if you've used it, Brian, but it is pretty cool. So if you're posting things you do and checking in places, you might want to give that one a shot. It is pretty nice. I do like the interface.
What's the name of it?
Called Hey Let's.
Hey, let's. Oh, I did because I remembered I saw this. I actually followed it and clicked on the link, so I know what the webpage looks like because I was like, I saw that's where she was working out there, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, check it out. It's cool. They're definitely bootstrapping. They're doing it the right way. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Fun.
It's an app. Oh yeah, I see. Ashley's even using the screenshot for the app.
Yes.
Yeah, thinking Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is amazing, but it's too damn addictive, and it gets me in like in a mood.
Seriously, man, what an episode!
Yeah, I know. And you didn't help yesterday when I posted. I was like, I'm about to go watch it. And you're like, you're gonna love this episode. I'm like, oh great.
It was an awesome episode. I was like, it was so good. I could not. You know what it was? It was the second episode of this season was okay.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that a lot of them, the second episodes were never like that great, and then the third and on was just ridiculous. I mean, so I'm excited for this season.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be it's gonna be good stuff. So yeah, here's the for those on the Meerkat. This is the app that Mr. Vincenzo Landino, who you can see close up here, is on the Google Plus Hangout. So we have what I have going on. We have a live Google Hangout, so we get the recording of it on Google Plus Hangout for YouTube purposes later on, or for content curation later on. And then we have it. Both of us are streaming on Meerkat. And I have the Apple TV mirroring my laptop screen so that you can see the same thing that I see. So when I'm talking to Mr. Vincenzo Landino,
Fanzo. That's Brian Fanzo's beautiful face with his Meerkat shirt on. I'm wearing a white tee for once.
Yeah, it's Meerkat Monday shirt. That's funny because I actually I was about to put the shirt on Friday. And I was like, man, because I had 2 Meerkats that I was going to do today for that presentation, that keynote I'm giving on Periscope and Meerkat, the future of live streaming. And so I wanted to do, if I were recording Meerkat for the video that I'm gonna play during that event, of course I wanted to wear the shirt. So I had to rock out the shirt today.
Dean says don't talk Game of Thrones. He hasn't watched any this season.
We won't ruin it. I am a big fan of not
ruining. Maybe we should make a little trade here, Dean. We won't talk Game of Thrones if you get us onto Nerf, and you have to give us the functionality we want with the YouTube integration.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kathleen on this side said the same thing. She said, "Oh, she's already on Tuesday." Oh yeah, I forgot you are all the way on Tuesday already. But yeah, laptop broke on Monday. Yeah, Monday is not a cool day. But yeah, for those that are on, I don't know if you do it, Vincenzo, but for anybody who's watching my Meerkats, because the reason I love Meerkat over Periscope is because the comments are sent to Twitter and the comments are actually consumable. So if you are on the on Meerkat, if you comment, let me know where you're at or ask a question. Anything you want to do, it'll populate on Twitter, and I'll make sure to add it to our to my list, so I'm following you on my side. Do you follow most of those people that are off for yours, Vincenzo?
I follow most of the people, and if I don't, I've made an attempt to at least engage with them. So.
Oh yeah, Kathleen's in Australia.
You have a little bit of different following strategy.
Oh yeah, we did. We talked about that on one of our other shows that we both have. Different definitely a different approach.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I personally haven't done it. So Dean said he's working on it. So all right, Dean, we won't spoil anything for you. No Game of Thrones spoilers then.
Yeah, no Game of Thrones spoilers at all. No, but yeah, I mean, actually, a part of that is over the shoulder. Yes, I have the over the shoulder video interview going on. So that's the so I'm curious to how people like that on that side, because I think
how are you running that?
Finding ways to engage doing the interviews, because I've seen a couple people do different things with the interviews. Vin, you and I last time we pointed our cameras at our screens and just like Google Hangout dictate what's going on. Hey Cam, Reynolds.
So wait, so you're showing, the screen is showing you, you're Meerkatting just yourself?
Yeah, I'm showing myself, but they can see you over my shoulder. But apparently it's pretty washed out right now, so I'm gonna try to fix that real quick.
Gotcha. So Brian's got some cool tech going on over there. I guess you guys will just have to be stuck with my face then. But you can hear Brian, you can hear our conversation. That's really all that matters. It's the conversation. We're not good looking dudes. You don't want to look at us for more than like 10 minutes. So just keep the audio going. That's really all that matters.
Yeah, no kidding. So I'm gonna turn the brightness way down on here and see if it helps with letting people see. Thanks. Yes, my big family picture this weekend I posted on Facebook and Instagram. That was me and the daughters and the wife were out at breakfast. All right, I think that's better now. now you can actually, all right, Kristen Cardos, the best Meerkat, and now even on Periscope. She's on the Periscopes commenting on there. Saying that that's so now they can actually see you. Yeah, so now you're actually, which is weird because like on the camera where you, like Vinny, where you can see him on Google Hangout via my webcam, it's not near as cool. Like this is where I need, oh, you know what? I wonder if my Windows phone is charged. That's how bad this phone is. I don't even know if it's charged, but if it is, I can take a picture.
Okay, can we talk about that for a second?
Yes, Kim, I can't wait. For the society. So I'm presenting Meerkat and Periscope, the value of live broadcasting to the Social Media Examiner Society tomorrow, webinar for anyone who's signed up for the founders on Social Media Examiner. Yes, I have a Windows phone, so they sent me this for free to test and use, and not a big fan. The learning curve of it is slightly ridiculous. So,
I also got a Windows phone from Microsoft, and I stopped using it. It is buried somewhere in a sock drawer.
Yeah, I want to take a picture because I have technically 3 videos going on here and 5 displays. So it's that would be what you consider definitely geeking out for sure.
Brian is geeking out.
I feel like I've been hanging out with you all afternoon. I know, Haley, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. I recorded a podcast. Actually, Vincenzo, here you go. Here's a good topic to start off our little conversation. So I do the new podcast, iSocial Talks. I do a tip, a tool, and a rant. So my tip was respect your followers' timeline, and I was talking about how people should look at their own timeline to understand how much and how often they post, so they stop spamming people. The tool I focused on was Buffer, which is no surprise since Buffer's my favorite tool. And then my rant was on people overly tagging people on social media and it being used as pretty much a spamming weapon. And I hate to have to block people from doing that, but it was really just a rant on how much I hate how people are currently today using the tagging feature. So any comments on those 3 there, Mr. Vincenzo?
I would have to say, geez, well, I personally, I mean, obviously Buffer, Buffer's my go-to. So I'm 100% in agreement with you on Buffer. I love Buffer. I love everything about Buffer. And did you see what they did today?
I did. They added Pinterest to the arsenal.
Pinterest has opened up their API to 10 developers only, and Buffer was one of them, which is really cool. You can now schedule your pins. So that's going to open up Pinterest. I don't know about you. I didn't really use Pinterest a lot before. I may actually start using Pinterest more now because it's easier. I don't have to go and open up another app or open up another web browser, web screen for a tab. You know, those tabs are so valuable. I mean,
they are.
I'm telling you, when I'm running like 15 tabs in Chrome, it is sucking my battery on my laptop. It just works through. So really excited about Buffer doing that. Buffer is definitely one of the, it's probably, I don't know, I'm going to go out there and say it's probably the best scheduling tool. I mean, I know some people are hard on like Hootsuite and whatnot, but
I use them both, but I use them for 2 different strategies. You know, for me, I use Hootsuite for the power of social listening and being able to keep, you know, like on TweetDeck, I love having all my columns on TweetDeck, but I don't have all those columns up all the time. So like, right. I have my first name, last name, I have iSocial Talks, I have Smack Talk, I have all of them categorized in Hootsuite. But when it comes to scheduling and really sharing live content by like right-clicking it and sharing it, I think Buffer is the game changer. And I kind of talk about that a little bit on that blog I had with the 40 different tools. But I probably do need to go a little bit more in depth in the future on all the use cases for Buffer. But I have played with. Someone just asked. Kim Reynolds asked if we had used Twitter Curator yet. Actually, Vincenzo and I were just talking about that on Friday on our call, because I think it's more like a Storyfy element. But we'll see. I guess we'll see where it comes from. I'll be curious when they add a couple of the enhancements. I think right now that's still missing, but it's definitely could be a game changer.
It's pulling right directly from Twitter. I mean, it's a Twitter product. It was only a matter of time that they came out with something like that, because why go use third-party apps for something that they can easily implement? So I like it. I've been playing with it, not nearly enough, but I've been playing with the Curator tool. If you guys haven't heard about it or signed up for it, curator.twitter.com. I got a question over here from Holly G. Oh, and so let's talk about your rant for the rant for a second, because I love that one. you know what? Why the hell do people do that and tag? I get it. Have a great morning, blah blah blah, and you tag like 10 people. I don't know. I mean,
part of my rant was, if you have a strategy behind doing it, I love it. I'm all about it. Like, if you want me to see this one piece of content, tag me in it. I love it. But do not tag me in 10 photos in one day and do it on every day and do it on every social platform. I mean, my example was I had 59 Facebook notifications on Saturday morning when I woke up. 22 of them I was tagged in either a Facebook post or a Facebook picture, and I was nowhere to be mentioned in either one, and it had nothing to do with what I was doing, and it really, I mean, it frustrated the crap out of me.
I have to say, there's one guy on Twitter and Facebook that has been tagging me a lot. Khalid, have you been getting tagged by him? Khalid?
Oh, yeah, Khalid. Yes, he does, and he does that on a lot of platforms.
I have to say though, most of the stuff that he's tagged me in has been like stuff that I'm for. So far, I'm not annoyed with that. There's others though that tag me in things that it's just like, I don't have anything to do with what you're talking about. Like, I don't even work in that industry. Somebody tagged me in a picture of like NASA astronauts on the moon. And it was like, they tagged like 100 people. Well, not 100, whatever the max is on Facebook, 20, I think.
Yeah.
Right. But then they went in comments and like started tagging people in comments and stuff. Anyway, that was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah. What do you think?
I think that's, actually, Brian Marketing has just said, doing some testing to find the best tool to manage 15 social media accounts. We should talk offline. I think there is some great tools. Sprout is pretty awesome for that as well. But I would love to give you more info on that. No, I agree. And Kim Reynolds had probably a good point. Some of the people that realize what clout does for you. One of the things that people gamify clout with is actually the tagging feature in Facebook, which is annoying. But for me, like, part of it was like, I love being able to tag someone in like a picture they're in, or like, let's say Vincenzo and I do a collaboration blog post and we mention 5 people in there. The fact that we can tag them on a photo without having to put their Twitter handles in the 140 characters, to me, is an awesome feature. The problem with that is now we're letting people use that where they're, hey, my heart goes out to everybody in Nepal. I'm all about, I was following the feed and stuff. But I would say today alone, I got like 30 photo tags asking me, everybody tagged here, please donate to such and such from Nepal. And I'm like, that's a wrong way of going about it. Like, they're missing the concept if that's how you're bringing me into that kind of conversation. Because I will never contribute that way. If you individually reached out to me and said, you might like this cause, here's a link and give me a reason, and you've already engaged me, yes, I might. But the other way, no thanks.
Well, I think that's the challenge too, with people just becoming like so overly zealous with either tagging or mention. I mean, there's a tactful way to, we talk about this all the time. How do you reach out to your influencers? Well, it's jumping in. Or how do you reach out to influencers or mentors? You have to start a conversation with them, right? I mean, you don't start a conversation by tagging them in something where you tag 50 other people or 9 other people in, and you're tweeting maybe 10 of the exact same thing to, asking others the same thing. That's not a way to authentically, or that's not a way to engage at all with anybody. Listen, we've all probably made the mistake of tagging people that maybe we shouldn't have at some point or another, but to do it on a regular basis and to do it multiple times daily is absolutely absurd. I have a question.
It kind of goes into the idea. Okay, Cam, cheers. Have a good one. Enjoy your beautiful California day. But one of the other things to me is, it's like, it's a difference between hijacking a conversation and hijacking a hashtag and contributing and participating in one. There's two different things there. When people hijack a hashtag, it is blatant, it is obvious, it is ruining the conversation. When someone comes into the conversation, adds to it, and then kind of adds a link in later on, I'm all about that. It's not all or nothing for me. It's even like DMs. I mean, I tell you what, the amount of value I've found on group DM as of recently has been really, really good. But there's also other people that have added me to group DMs that drives me crazy. So I think it's understanding the strategy and respecting the people that you're trying to bring into the conversation.
It's funny. We can go on this for days. So let's jump to the next topic. Holly G asks, "What do you think of Meet Edgar?" I have not played with it. Brian probably knows more than I do. So take it away.
So I got a demo of Edgar, and I think Edgar has lots of great possibilities. I think it's designed for a strict use case. And so here's the thing with me and all these tools is not one of these tools is perfect for everybody. And I think it's all about understanding what your direct strategies are and what you're trying to help with. Are you trying to help with just Twitter accounts, or do you want to be able to schedule more and manage more of all of your social media accounts? Or do you want to have analytics that can actually include your Facebook page and your Google Plus page? Or, depending on really what you're trying to do. I think what Meet Edgar does, when I saw the demo, and I will openly admit, is I actually haven't used the tool fully before, because I just haven't had a reason to purchase it, and I just had the original demo. That's really the only thing that I did. I do like the idea that it has a calendar built into it, and it has a library of content, both things that I appreciate. But here's the thing, for me, if everyone's not contributing to that, it kind of has lesser value. So I use like Scoop It, Flipboard, and Feedly to grab a lot of my content and centralize it and then share it. But Meet Edgar, definitely, I like the approach of it. I like the strategy for when it was originally built. And I think what's her name? Is it Emily who created it? She's awesome on social as well. She has some great videos and stuff.
I gotta turn these off, these notifications. Sorry guys, on the other side over there. I haven't played with it at all. I think there's, there's so many tools out there now that we have the we're kind of blessed, or I don't want to use the word blessed, but we have the ability of testing, and almost spoiled now. We remember when we first started with like Twitter and social media, there was like no tools. I mean, it was, you had to go in and post. Now we have 10 tools that do the exact same thing 10 different ways. And
well, one of my things, my soapbox is always about. I'm getting like a. Look at that repeat.
What do you got?
I can hear myself.
Oh, jeez. All right, hold on.
But
all right, I'll be right back. Keep talking.
All right. So like for me, one of the things is the learning curve for Twitter is extremely high. But if people are using third-party tools, it really does make Twitter a lot easier. So I'm curious of everybody that's listening or watching on both sides, do any of you not use third-party? Laura Reeder, that's her name. Do any of you not use third-party apps for Twitter management? Does anybody use the native client? I'm curious on your side too, Vincenzo, if anybody uses the native client only for Twitter. Yes, this is very Inception.
I don't, do you hear? Are you good now? We're good?
I think we're good. Oh,
okay.
No, we're not.
Okay, well.
Hey, plug your headphones in. All right, now let's see. Oh, damn, I don't know.
Here, can we turn down the volume a little? All right, let me do this. How about now?
Oh, no, still bad. All right, Brian, have a good one.
Better?
Yeah, I think we're good.
So, no, I can't say I've actually used a native Twitter client. Although I do, you know what? Okay, scratch that. I use a desktop version once in a while when I want to tag a photo. When I want to use my 10 tags for a photo, I'll do it on there if I'm not doing it from my mobile device. Also, I will use it I'll check the analytics of a post through the native Twitter client. The other thing I did notice is that TweetDeck also doesn't show all of my notifications. I don't know if you.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see all of the mentions or notifications. Like retweets and favorites sometimes don't show up on my TweetDeck, but they show up on like on my phone through the native Twitter client or through the desktop version.
See, I get the opposite sometimes. I get stuff to my Twitter iPhone app, but I don't get it. It goes to my TweetDeck, but it doesn't go to my Twitter iPhone app.
Interesting.
What's the best third-party apps for Twitter? Hey, Vincenzo, leave it on. I'll mute you.
Okay.
All right, so I think the best third-party app from my side is TweetDeck for live active engagement, Hootsuite for managing multiple accounts for clients where you want to have different logins and different parameters. But when it comes to managing multiple of your own Twitter accounts, TweetDeck is my favorite. I use TweetBot on my phone. What about you, Ben?
Tweetbot is on my phone. I actually use all the same tools you use. I except for Hootsuite. I use Hootsuite now with BroadSuite with you guys, but I don't have. It's not a tool I've ever used consistently in any of my clients. I love TweetDeck. It works. Again, and here's something you'll hear me say over and over. And my Meerkat people have heard me say it before. I'm tool agnostic, so like I don't, just the same way I am with Meerkat and Periscope. I don't care what you use. So people are like, well, you have to use Periscope, you have to use Meerkat, you have to use this tool, you have to use that tool. Use whatever tool works in your workflow. Whatever makes your day easier, whatever makes your job easier, use it. What works for me doesn't work for somebody else. Like, it works for Brian to use all those tools. It doesn't work for me. I simplify to 1 or 2 tools per device. So like on my desktop, I'll use TweetDeck and Buffer, and that's it. TweetDeck and Buffer is pretty much all I use. And then on my phone, I have Tweetbot. I do use the Buffer tool once in a while. And that's it. Like, it works for the clients I have right now. Maybe once I get more clients that require a different level of service or something else might work for me. I mean, I know with you, Brian, like, you're all over the place just like I am. Our minds go 100 miles an hour. So what works for me today may not work for me tomorrow, and I'm totally okay with that. A lot of people are like, oh my God, if I can't use the same app for the next 15 years, like, my head's gonna explode. Like, no, if you just need to roll with the punches. Like, that's what I've learned, is to roll with the punches. So what may work for me today may not work for me tomorrow, and what doesn't work for me today may work for me tomorrow. Might be like my go-to app. So Hootsuite, I'm starting to use it a little bit. I'm starting to like it a little bit more. But again, like you said, Twitter itself has such a huge learning curve that, like, learn Twitter first before you try and go into tools.
Yes.
Tools will make or what you're doing. Then the tools will only confuse you more. So remember, try and learn Twitter first before you go to tools.
Yeah, Twitter basics. And understanding kind of like just the understanding of what Twitter, how hashtags work, understanding the following. And I also think it's kind of important that once you dive into the tools, it's kind of just finding one that you like and using it. I don't think you need to try, honestly, it's very self-promotional, but allow me to be the one that tests and, embraces the fear of missing out and uses all of these different tools. And then I'll share my insights and my view. And if one jumps out to you from a value proposition, jump on it. But I don't think, part of the reason I love what I'm doing right now is I get to be the guy I always wish I had when I was in an enterprise company or when I was in a full-time role. Like, the reason our podcast, Smack Talk, is I want people to be on the way to work, on the way home from work. They can listen to 30 minutes of something and have an understanding of either a new technology, a new philosophy, and how it relates to business. I don't want it to be like the same thing that you're consuming, because I know not everybody has the same amount of time as I do to be able to sit on webinars, to be able to sit and watch hashtags, to try out brand new tools. I'm beta testing and using so many new tools today. That to me is really kind of the essence where hopefully we're able to bring that in there, beyond just, the basic tools, but giving people like kind of a path to embracing tools.
Yeah. You were the biggest advocate for me to embrace tools and to use them to their, it's really getting the most you can out of a tool too. So like, if you're not, you could use all the tools you want, but if you're not actually utilizing them to their fullest potential, there's really no point in having that, or saying, I know some people are tool obsessed. They're just obsessed with like, I use all these tools and I use every tool and I play with this and I beta that. And I'm not talking about you, Brian. I'm talking about people who, talk about it as if it's like a badge of honor to use 100 tools and master absolutely none of them, or that will confuse you too. Like, that will get in the way of your workflow. Some people are like, I get nothing done throughout the day. And it's like, okay, well, what's your workflow look like? Let's take a look at your workflow. Let's take a look at the tools you're using. Oh, wait a minute. You're using 100 tools to do the same freaking, task. Well, there you go. Like, stop that. And speaking of Marissa, by the way, Brian, she's watching from Meerkat right now. So shout out to Zoom.
Yeah, there you go.
Meerkat. We were chatting about her.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And, oh man, that's too bad. Repeat. I don't know why. All right. So no, and we got another one, the Marker app. So Matt Hannaford asked about that. So the Marker app, I'm familiar with them from social media marketing world. The founder and CEO of Marker app. It's for, it allows you to brand your pictures and a lot of things posted on Instagram. I don't use it personally, mainly because I'm not managing a brand account in those areas yet. I don't know if Kristen Cardos, have you tried Marker App? You have to let us know, because Kristen is my rockstar community manager, Meerkat manager, master of community, everything. She rocks in all essence. So when it comes to like managing those things, I'm not managing them myself. I don't want to make it the illusion that I'm managing it. But yeah, Marker App's one that I tried at Social Media Marketing World, but I haven't really tried it much since then before. What about Vin? Are you using any of those type of apps?
No, I mean, again, I stick to my basics. I haven't had the ability to test a lot of apps. Right now, the workflow that I'm in doesn't really allow me to do that. But I'm always open for it. So maybe I should. What do you think of him?
No, I mean, I think it's all about, like you said, putting in your workflow. And I mean, and also there's an element too. I mean, you said a good thing about tools. I mean, I think people often don't even give the new tool a fair shot. Like, so this is like my strategy, and this is something that, for me, for being a tip, is every new app that I download that's replacing an existing app, I put it into a folder that's called FOMO, for fear of missing out. And then I actually delete the other app from my phone, because I want to give the new app an actual full test. And that's scary for many people, but like, that's kind of why I do it. So like for me, like, let's talk about the calendar apps that exist on iPhone. I've probably downloaded 25 calendar apps. Sunrise, you had Calendly, you had, I could go through a whole list of them, but each time I deleted the other one because I really wanted to try each one of those apps. But ultimately, like, I did a blog post on them, and I went back to the app that I enjoy the most out of all of them, and I deleted all the rest of them. So for me, it's about, like, are you really not only making sure that it fits in your workflow, but are you actually testing a tool or an app the correct way and giving it its fair shot? Because so many people are like, oh, Buffer sucks, I'm going to stick with Hootsuite. Perfectly fine, but did you really try Buffer for what it's worth? And it's probably not replacing every aspect of your Hootsuite, but it can probably enhance a couple of the other things that you're doing with Hootsuite. So to me, it's not about one or the other. Like you said, I'm very, if a new tool comes out that can manage my scheduling and my calendar better, I probably would jump off Buffer without question. Now, granted, Buffer has built a little bit of loyalty with their dedication to the community and their engagement, and they reach out to me on feature enhancements and stuff that is very cool. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think it's too many people worry about the tool and not enough on the strategy. And if you fix the strategy and you have a philosophy, no matter what tool you're using, I mean, I can honestly admit that for me, my Twitter my Twitter strategy and my Twitter philosophy makes me successful on Twitter. It is sure as hell not one tool makes me successful.
It's like any athlete. I'll go with golf, because golf is one of those sports where it's like the first sport, or it's the first thing not any golfer, but amateur golfers will blame is, my clubs suck. No, your clubs don't suck. Your clubs are a tool. Is your stance right? Is your swing? Are you breaking your arm? Are you swinging, pace, tempo of your swing? There's so many things you have to consider, right? It's the same thing with social media. I mean, it's the same thing in business. You can't always blame the tool if you don't, like Brian said, you don't give it a fair shot. And I'm going to start to implement that. I like that, where you're actually deleting the other app. I know when Periscope came out, there's a lot of people, I think you did, right? You kind of deleted Meerkat for a little bit, right? And you
I did. Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, I stuck to Meerkat. I dabbled with Periscope, but I stuck to Meerkat. So I didn't do exactly what Brian did. But I will stand by that and highly recommend that. And I will try that from now on, is deleting the same app and giving it a fair shot. You'll never know how tools work if you just keep it in your head that there's another tool that's better. There's another tool that's better. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what features you want until you actually are testing them. So, and that's the thing about tools, is that they all do something a little different. Even though, Hootsuite and Buffer might be similar, Buffer doesn't give you the listening capability that Hootsuite can give you. How are you gonna replace it? You can't replace it. You can't replace it with one tool. You'd have to use Buffer, and that's why some people just use Hootsuite. So it's, I don't know, when you hear people kind of like bashing apps and this and that, I mean, I also think to the people that are behind those apps and they're putting in so many hours of developers and those people marketing it. And again, I'm not trying to be all sentimental and stuff like that, but unless your app totally sucks, there's a lot of hard work that goes into that. And a lot of times a simple, email or, maybe a reach out on Twitter, asking them, hey, can you add this functionality? Like I've done that with Buffer, and then within weeks, the features, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one that asked for it. But next thing you know, I was, they're like, oh, we're going to put you on our panel of, whatever they called me, whatever it is, they'll call me if they want to test out a new feature, and they'll say, hey, what do you think about it? So like, that's why I stick to Buffer. Again, Brian, like loyalty. Yeah, and I don't want to keep repeating what Brian says, so I'll just stop there. But
no, I like your hold on. I like your analogy for golf, because I think that's actually a great one. And because if you're great at golf, eventually you'll end up getting better clubs, and you'll be able to fine tune each one of those things. But I can tell you, if I had a set of Nike blades today, I would suck at golf, because I mean I'm right about I've played golf for a long time, but I'm not great at it. Not anything near what I am in hockey. But for me, golf, like I found a set of clubs that allowed me to play when I was really doing good, and then also allowed me when I hadn't played in a year to pick them up, and it has a nice cavity on it. It allows me to make a little bit of mistakes without totally ruining everything. But too many times people buy the best clubs ever and be like, oh God, they haven't fixed me. These clubs are overrated. And you're like, no, your game doesn't match that. So I actually like the analogy there, Vin, on golf and social media tools. But what apps analyze sentiment? So if there are some. So sentiment analysis is actually a fun one, but it's a little early in the game for ones that do it really great. I know the Buffer team uses for customer service. Oh gosh, why am I forgetting the name of their tool? Oh man, it's a customer service social media app that actually allows them to put sentiment in it, but it weighs certain words, so it has to be someone that's built up a profile. But right now it's a little early for that. Nuvi chat is a good one. Nuvi is a good tool.
I use Nuvi. I have Nuvi, a subscription to it. It does measure sentiment. It's not perfect. I'll be honest with you. It's kind of one of those vanity. I think it's a little bit of a vanity metric right now. Again, you have to really build up a profile, like you said. I mean, you really, really have to. I mean, it'll take a lot of work. It doesn't understand sarcasm. So again, it's a machine. It's kind of ones and zeros. there's no reading tone. So you could look at a sentiment score, and if you had there's like a chat, I think on Thursday night, it's called Spoof Chat, Bri. And I've checked, those guys, like, it's all funny. Well, if you read that, I mean, the sentiment would be like 100% negative, but it's not. It's just a lot of just joking around. So I've used it. I look at it, but I don't really, I really haven't used it as a, and I'm still, I guess maybe my question to you is, what do you think the benefit of, aside from customer service, or is that the only place where sentiment really has value is customer service? Like, where else, what other functions of a business could sentiment come into play?
So I think situational awareness, and I think also ones like, so I talked about it earlier and I screen captured a couple of them, but when the earthquake happened, right, in Nepal, I believe any company or any brand who has a product that's named earthquake or has the word earthquake in it should be well aware that if ever there was an earthquake or someone talking about an earthquake, you would want to be able to disable an ad. There was an ad for a product that's called earthquake being redirected and actually sponsored in the region where the earthquake happened. Very not cool. So I don't even think that's customer service. I think that's more like brand awareness on the sense of, like, if you were able to put, and one of the things for me for sentiment analysis that matters is I don't care if one person blasts my company, but if they've been my biggest advocate for a longest time and all of a sudden they have a bad tweet, I want that to be higher prioritized in everything that I'm doing. Like from an engagement perspective, from a response perspective. I mean, think about scale. To me, sentiment is the best for scale. Because if you're someone like a Ted Rubin, and Ted Rubin is presenting at an event, he has 200,000 followers. He probably gets 1,500 notifications a day. If he was able to have a tool that actually prioritized those notifications based on sentiment so that he could actually respond to some of the negative ones or the overly positive ones, that prioritization for scale on social media, to me, would be a pretty cool advantage of what we're calling sentiment.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. Kristen said sentiment matters everywhere, and there's no tool that can fully capture it. Human dependent. Yep. So like, there's still that 10 inches or so from the brain to the keyboard that matters. We'll never be fully out of I know I don't think anything will ever be fully automated to the point where a human is not needed. I mean, somebody has to program it. Somebody has to, read the analytics that come from it. Let's see. Okay, Marissa jumped in. She said, "How about based on influence?"
Ooh.
But see, here's the thing. Okay, so you based on influence. I mean, listen, influence is obviously huge. How do you truly measure influence, though? Because can you gamify influence?
So I believe. Hold on, maybe. Damn Google Plus. I believe it's all about. Crap. Hey, hold on, Vin. You have Skype?
Yeah.
What's your? Hold on, let me contact you on Skype real quick.
It's Vinny Landino. Hold on, let me turn it on. I don't keep it logged in throughout the day. I don't like.
It's just Vinny.
Meerkat, you can look at my dog while I'm going on Skype. It's Vinny Landino, Vinny. I think it might be _ Landino. Hold on, let me see. That's how often I use Skype. Maybe I should start using it more often. What do you think? You think Skype voice quality is better than Google Hangout?
It is for one-on-one. For panel or more than one, it sucks. Comparative.
Okay. All right, hold on. It's taking forever to turn on.
Yeah, Skype has its own issues. Their UI is a mess.
It's Vinny _Landino.
No, it's funny. I just talked about Skype on Google Hangout, and now the echo's back. What is it, Vinny?
Vinny _Landino.
Bam. All right, hold on. I'm gonna stop this one real quick, and then